his friend had called him and was going through a difficult time in his life, divorce, lost his wife, lost his job, etc. And Jocko said something, words to the effect of, when you're lost in like a military context or whatever, you need to start moving. It doesn't
Yes.
necessarily matter which direction you move in, but you need to start moving in a direction. And that was, I was thinking about that as you said about this idea of like paralysis by analysis.
Yeah.
People, they might be at rock bottom, but they just don't know what to do. So they're just sat in the same situation. Certainty in that context is sometimes better for people than the uncertainty of what happens if I, you
What
know,
if this is the wrong decision or
yeah,
something?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and also you got to figure it's sort of like a self-perpetuating problem too, where if you, let's say you've hit rock bottom, even if you don't know it, and you're like, oh, I want to fix my life. I want to do something with my life. Let's say the kind of
Mhm.
generic rock bottom. Well, let's say you get paralysis by analysis and you're not able to sort of like pick a path and you go nowhere.
Mhm.
That only reinforces the idea that oh, you screwed up again,
Mhm.
but you haven't. There's just too many choices and you're allowing too many factors to be at play here. Jocko, however he said it, is dead on. And there's another way that's talked about in the military, which is an 80% solution now is oftentimes better than a 100% solution tomorrow. And it's all
Interesting.
about like speed over certainty. In the military, it applies a lot of
Mhm.
times. But that's the way I think people should generally, not always, but generally look at their lives if they haven't quite built anything yet, whether they're at rock bottom or just starting out, like they're young people and they're, or whatever age you're at. If you feel like you need to make a change, like you said, the pain of staying the same is greater than making a change. If you're at that point, you kind of know it. Think about what matters to you, whatever it is. Like I like to equate it to when like you're in the shower by yourself and you're just having unfiltered true thoughts. Like ask yourself, what do you really care about? Like honest to God. Like forget what society says you should care about. Let's say you really just want to be famous. And that's the actual core. And you don't even know why, but that's what you want. Well, guess what? Listen to that part of you. It's not vain. It's a thing that matters to you. Similarly, if you're like, I want to be just rich, great. If that's a real motivation for you, like at your core, in the shower, it's just you. If that's really what drives you, great. Those are boxes that must be checked for something to be worth doing.
Mhm.
So it's like have your shower thoughts and be real with yourself. Like, what do you really actually care about? Not what society says, not what you want your family, none of that stuff. For me, honestly, the reason the SEAL thing really paid, I wanted to do it ultimately, is I wanted people to say, that's John Allen, the Navy SEAL. Because to me, it was like I had been the black sheep in my family. Because of me, I had discovered this. But it's like, oh, his sisters have done this. Oh, his dad's done this. His mom's done this. And then there's John. I wanted something that sort of overrode the mediocrity and failure. And I felt like, what better thing? What more honorable thing? And it also, I wanted to serve. That's another check. It's a big goal. That's difficult. That's a check. But ultimately, it was like, I want people to know that I became a Navy SEAL. That mattered to me. And you know what? It flies in the face of what Navy SEAL instructors tell you, which is you shouldn't do this because you want to be a Navy SEAL. You should do it because you want to serve the country. And like, that's true. And what else are you going to tell your students?
Yeah.
But if you really want to be real about it, you got to find your real motivation and that box must be checked.